Right, good morning, welcome back. Now today's video we're going to put in the myths busted and simple skills playlists because this video is a bit of both. So friction welding, is that something we can do at home or is that the reserve purely of professional engineering shops? Now I've seen guys doing this with 2 wood screws and a ball bearing in a drill press at home, a little bit wonky, very sketchy, and on the other end of the scale I've seen them doing it in these massive engineering rigs where it's all CAD controlled and everything's behind bulletproof screens and it's for the purposes of making massive pieces of engineering. So is there somewhere in between where we can do it safely and successfully at home? Well, the only way to find out is to try carefully and considerately and see what happens. Now, if you've never seen it before, friction welding is deliberately rubbing 2 pieces of metal together until they get so hot they literally weld themselves into one piece. And I mean a fully penetrated weld that is as strong as one piece of steel. Now, as I've already said, those I've seen on videos doing it at home with a couple of wood screws and a ball bearing, they do get it to stick together, but they don't get a fully penetrated weld because so often you see them test it and it just snaps. So I'm going to use the lathe, some proper bits of steel, not just wood screws. And if we can actually achieve the weld, then I'll destruction test it afterwards in the press to see if it's properly penetrated. Let's go. Okay, I've drilled a very shallow hole in the end of each of the bars to locate a ball bearing. I'm going to put one in the chuck, one in the tailstock, bring them together, horizontally opposed, and trap a ball bearing in between the two. Spin the chuck. Obviously the tailstock doesn't move, and that will be how we achieve the friction. And because the ball bearing is right in the center, hopefully that's going to be the origin of the friction. The heat will begin right in the middle of the bar and radiate outwards, hopefully giving us a fully penetrated weld when we're done. Let's see how we get on. Okay, that was a fail to start with. The piece hanging out of the tailstock is too long, it's waving around, and the holes that I've drilled in the end are a bit too small. I need to get in there with that spot drill a bit deeper, make a proper tapered chamfer to hold the ball bearing nice and stable. Let's try again. Go a lot deeper this time. Hopefully more surface area rubbing against it. Right, getting sketchy again, it's moving around, but what I'm noticing when I look closely is actually the chuck itself is moving around on its taper. So there's too much force going on there and not creating enough friction. Also what's happened is the ball bearing has welded itself into the stationary piece and then sheared in half. That crack that you heard then, that was the ball bearing shearing in half, and it's now flush faced in the end. So at this point, I cannot generate any more than like a blue golden heat, which is 400 or 500 degrees. And for metal like this to melt, we need it up around 1400. So we're way short of the target. Right, one more try. Yeah. Nope. Just welded the ball bearing in. Right, I think there is your answer. 3 times in a row trying to get that to heat up enough to weld. It's hot, but not nearly enough to weld. Now, the best we've managed to achieve on this 3rd attempt is to melt the ball bearing. Literally squished it. We've got 1/3 of it melted and cracked off in that side, and 2/3 of it there, like a big old blob. And the best we've been able to achieve in terms of heat is a straw brown and blue, which is in the low to mid hundreds, about 400 or 500 centigrade. If you want it to glow red, then that needs to be about 700 or 800 centigrade, and we're not getting halfway there. So it's definitely not going to friction weld in this lathe. And also, as you can see, no matter how short I cut that and how close I got it inside the chuck, the whole thing's still moving around. The actual tailstock chuck is flexing in its body, and the chuck, the lathe chuck itself, started to move around, so that's risking the bearings and I'll damage the machine. So no more pressure. I only applied the same pressure that you might apply if you're drilling. So it should be able to take it, but it's not designed for this and I'll end up breaking something. So I'm going to call it done there. It clearly doesn't work in a home environment unless you're using wood screws in a pillar drill, and maybe it's because they're so soft and they're so feeble that they do get that hot. But proper pieces of steel for home friction welding, forget it. It's an absolute myth. You can't do it. However, what we have been mentioning is these guys who weld screws together with a ball bearing in between. I wonder if we can do that. We've got a couple of M6 cap head Allen screws. Let's put them in the same rig, set them up with a fresh ball bearing, and see if we can weld those together at least. In there, fresh ball bearing, trapped in the gap. That's it. I think we've done it. Okay, so we achieved it in the end. We managed to get that hot enough to weld. Where you see the sparks pop out, that's the point at which I think it actually welds itself together, so I believe. Anyway, it wouldn't actually do to say that that's welded unless we test it. Let's put it in the vise and bend it, see if it breaks. Okay, in terms of a myth bust, well, I couldn't make it work today. Certainly with pieces of proper steel, not even anywhere near could I get them hot enough on a home hobby lathe to anywhere near weld that. At the best, straw brown, 400 degrees at the most, no chance of welding. And even the screws that we did get to glow orange, sparks came out and it welded together, great. But with a little bit of force, they snapped apart. So it certainly wasn't a fully penetrated weld. At best, it was a spot weld, if that, and certainly not something you rely on. So there we are. If this is a myth bust video at all, I couldn't make it work. So for me personally, it's a bit of a fail. Now, if there's anything to be learned from this today, it's to take care of your engine oil servicing. If you've ever considered to stretch your oil service an extra few thousand miles because you can't really afford it this month, think again. Because without oil between metal parts that rub together, this is what can happen. They burn into one piece, break apart, and then proceed to rip the hell out of each other for the future. And if you don't think that can happen, it absolutely can. It can happen to camshaft lobes, crankshaft lobes, and cylinder bores. Any lack of lubrication in those areas means that that metal gets hotter and hotter. It's known as hot spots. Those hot spots will, just for a fraction of a second, they'll weld themselves together, break apart almost instantly, but that rough lump that welded itself will continue to gore and tear your engine apart internally, and it's absolutely terminal. So at all costs, take care of your engine servicing, because although we cannot achieve friction welding in our garage doing it at home, you will achieve friction welding inside your engine if you don't look after your oil servicing on time, on mileage, every time. So just a bit of fun today. Thank you for watching. Take it easy, ride safe, and we'll see you next time back on the Goldwing.